Okay, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Rivera, be aware that we're doing this video conference. It is on YouTube, which makes it public. The world, anybody that wants to tune in can tune in and see and hear what's going on.
Okay.
Now, we're looking at the document, and I was telling you that it is divided into 15 separate sections or divisions. The first one is the one that talks about the range of punishment for the offense that we're talking about. You have arranged to enter a plea on obstruction of a passageway, waterway, or highway or waterway, and that is a Class B misdemeanor, meaning that you can be fined from $0 to $2,000 and subject to jail from 0 days to 180 days. Do you see that check mark there, that's what the applicable range of punishment?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Rivera, number 2, look at it with me. That repeats what we were talking about, most of what we were talking about earlier in reference to your constitutional rights. They talk about the right to remain silent, the right to confront witnesses, that is, cross-examine, challenge them. And it is a declaration on your part. The jury trial is involved there. It is a declaration here, number 2, that you are freely and voluntarily giving up the rights. Is that correct?
Yes.
Number 3, sir, have you ever had any kind of mental health problems?
Yes.
And were you given medication for those problems?
Yes.
Are you at this time under or taking that medication currently?
Yes.
And what is that? Can you tell the court, please?
Yes. Have major depression, diagnosis of anxiety, and attention deficit, and another diagnosis of shift work sleep disorder. Get sleepy during the daytime because of many years working nights, hospital work.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, Mr. Allen and Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
do either one of you believe that these medications that you receive affect your understanding and your reading and your responses in this proceeding?
No.
No, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right, that Mr. Rivera and Mr. Allen saying no, that it does not. All right, Mr. Rivera, I need you to know that the deal that you made with the state, it is up to me as the judge to accept it or reject it. It is my authority and my responsibility. If I reject the deal, or if I give you a punishment that's heavier than what you agreed to, then in that case, the law would allow you to start all over again. And nothing you've said up till now or anything you've signed up till now could be used against you in that situation. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right. Have you ever been involved with the sex offender program,
No.
registration, or anything else?
No, no, sir.
good. All right. Number 8 in particular, where were you born, sir?
I was born here in San Antonio at the.
Okay. That's good. That makes you a U.S. citizen, and I'll so note that in the file. All of these things, some of them apply to you and some of them don't. Number 15 in particular, by signing and agreeing and signing the documents in this plea agreement, you're giving up the right to have me do a risk and needs assessment. Now, particularly in your case, since you had mental health issues, do you want me to have to stop everything now and have a risk and needs assessment done?
No, no, thank you.
You want to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you will, if you have not already, you will sign the document that I'm showing you. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm just finishing up now.
All right. Next document, Patricia. The document being shown to you now again repeats the basic information or identifying information at the top. This one, I declare, this is a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. I'm declaring that if you look at the fifth little box, it says this is a plea bargain agreement and the defendant has no right of appeal. That document, have you reviewed that earlier?
Yes.
You understood that?
Yes.
All right, and you will or have signed it.
Yes.
Next document. The document shown to you now again has the same identifying information. Its application for, this is deferred, Mr. Edelman? Mr. Edelman.
Yes, sir.
All right, he's applying for deferred adjudication.
Yes, he is, sir.
Mr. Rivera, basically, you need to understand a couple of very important things about deferred adjudication. Again, Mr. Allen has gotten you a very good deal. He's gotten this charge reduced, taken out of DWI. It's no longer involved. Now, besides being reduced to obstruction, you're also getting what's called deferred adjudication. The basic part of that is that you are not being found guilty at this point. And if you live up to all of the conditions of supervision, and I mean 100%, sir, then the case will get dismissed and you are not convicted even of obstruction. Be aware that if you fail to live up to 100% of the conditions or you refuse to live up to those conditions, then the state can ask you to send official notice to you, bring you in for a hearing, and they can present evidence. And if the evidence substantiates it, then I can enter a final conviction on your case. And at that point, you'd be subject to the full range of punishment, a fine from $0 to $2,000, in jail from 0 days to 180 days. The importance, again, is that if you mess up, then you can have, it is possible and maybe probable, depending on the evidence, that you would have a final conviction that would follow you the rest of your life. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right. When you made this application, did you review it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Do you know and understand what you're telling me under oath by signing this application?
Yes.
All right. Now, the next document will be the actual plea agreement. Oh, pardon me, the personnel data sheet. This one doesn't have identifiers because the entire document is about you and identifying you in detail. Did you fill in the personal data sheet?
Yes, I'm doing that right now.
All right, so you are doing it.
Yes.
You are employed at this time?
Yes, sir.
And where are you employed?
I'm with the UT Health Science Center, School of Medicine.
What do you do?
I'm a family nurse practitioner.
All right. And what are you paid? You work there full time?
Yes, sir.
How long have you worked there full time?
6 years.
All right, so you're well established. It's not a temporary probationary thing. All right.
Yes.
And what are your wages monthly?
About $8,500.
A month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you married or single, widowed, divorced?
Single.
All right. Do you have any children that are dependents, minor children?
No.
Hello.
No minor children.
No minor children? Yes, sir.
All right. Did you ever serve in the military?
No.
Okay. And what kind of vehicle do you have?
A 2009 Prius.
Okay. By the way, what color is it?
Maroon.
Very good. All right. Now we go to the plea agreement. We're in the home stretch.
Okay.
All right. The first two boxes I will be checking off. The first one talks about the right to remain silent, and that we've discussed it with you. The second one makes a finding by the court that you are a U.S. citizen. The next
Yes.
section talks about defendant's acknowledgements. There are 5 boxes that are checked off. Each one talks about the different particular rights, constitutional protections that you're aware of, and that you have the court has discussed with you, and you've been fully informed. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. DWI specific allegations.
Because on the speaker in the room, please, sir.
I'm sorry. Can you mute yourself, James?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
We're in the middle of another proceeding. We'll be with you in about 5 minutes. All right. The state has a motion. Mr. Edelman.
Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to waive and abandon count 1 and proceed on count 2 of the charging instrument.
No objections, Your Honor.
There being no objections, I will have noted that that motion is granted. Mr. Rivera, to the
Yes.
charge of obstruction of a passageway, highway, or waterway, what is officially your plea?
Guilty?
You want to try it again? I think your attorney wants you to plead nolo contendere.
No. Okay. Nolo contendere.
All right. Now, again, I repeat, nolo contendere in this court is considered a guilty plea. However,
Okay.
there's a specific reason that your attorney can discuss with you why it's better that you plead nolo. And I accept your plea of nolo contendere. Based on that plea, I find that there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty based on your plea and the evidence. But I do not find you guilty because I am honoring the agreement that is granting you a deferred adjudication. You are ordered to appear at the Bexar County Courthouse in the offices of County Court at Law Number 5, which is on the 4th floor of the Justice Center. Within 7 days, I want you to appear there and fill out any information that is missing and sign the documents that you're supposed to sign and have your thumbprint placed on the documents appropriately. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Now, you are fined $500. You're granted 12 months deferred adjudication. You have 48 hours of community service restitution to complete. You will reimburse the Texas Department of Public Safety an amount of $60. Then you will complete the DWI education program, the DWI Victim Impact Panel. You will submit to what's called a TAP evaluation and follow the recommendations. For 6 months, you'll have installed, continuously 6 months, you'll have installed in your vehicle an ignition interlock monitoring device. Is that understood?
Yes.
During the entirety of the deferred adjudication, you're not to have not one drop of alcohol. Is that understood?
Yes.
All right. The court sets the supervisory fee at $52 a month. 52. Questions, Mr. Allen?
No, Your Honor. Just one thing, Mr. Rivera has completed quite a few hours of community service after the date of offense, but before this plea today. We would just ask if he shows proof of that it is a nonprofit, that he be given credit for those hours.
Mr. Allen, your request is a very legitimate and reasonable request. I'm going to deny that request for one reason. This is an exceptional young man with a very good job. He has gotten a hell of a deal because it's been reduced out of DWI, and then he's getting deferred also. like I said, your request is very legitimate, but I'm not gonna do it. I want him to get the full taste of what's going on. That should have never happened. So, other than that, anything else, Mr. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rivera, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Edelman?
No, sir.
All right. The next-
Your Honor, I just need to speak to him.
Ms. Luna, Mr. Rivera, Ms. Luna needs to visit with you briefly to set up this particular probation and supervision with you. So just don't go nowhere, just wait a little bit, all right?
Yes.
All right.
Good.
Nice.
After we get through with the next case, we'll put you in breakout, Ms. Luna. So have
Okay.
Mr. Rivera just wait around.
Will do.
Judge.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Be safe.
Thank you so much.
Matthew, be safe. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
You're welcome. All right. We have Mr. Hill with us.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Woe is me. Is that what you're saying? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Oh, where?
Mr. Hill, are you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, sir. I sure can. Very good. And
Can
I
you see me,
presume-
Judge?
No, I just see your name, Scott Hill.
Okay, I'm doing it from my phone, Judge. I haven't really done that before, so. Oh, here we go.
Hey, there you are. How you doing, Scott?
Good. How are you, sir?
Well, I am well, thank God. All right. The court calls case number 625173, State of Texas versus James Dolan Foxworth. I presume that is he that was whoa, whoa, whoa in a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Foxworth, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Mr. Foxworth, I'm informed, and it is obvious that you intend to enter a plea on this matter.
Yes, sir.
You were charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon. Now, before we go any further, I need to discuss with you several important constitutional rights and protections. There's basically 5 of them that I'm going to start with. This discussion is being recorded by a court reporter, Ms. Kayleen Rivera. But we're going to repeat these several times in writing.
Okay.
Those rights are so important that we do it that way. The first thing is you have a right to remain silent, meaning generally that you do not have to make a statement, you don't have to answer questions, and you don't have to submit papers that have your signature, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. Do you understand the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to a jury trial. That means that your attorney and the state would select 6 people from the community to hear the evidence and decide whether you're guilty or not guilty.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to confront witnesses. That means if you went to trial, you and your attorney could cross-examine, question, or challenge any witness that would testify. You also have the right to what's called the right of appeal. That right is done by you, yourself, your attorney, or the 2 of you together in a proper manner using the right papers in the timeline. There's time constraints, asking a higher court to review the official record in this proceeding and the evidence for whatever challenge you wanted to make. When you enter a plea, you're giving up all these rights. You also have a right to have this proceeding in a public courtroom. You and the state both have that right. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not doing public courtroom hearings at this time. what we're doing is video conferences, which is what we're doing by computer. It is being broadcast on YouTube so that everyone in the world who wants to can tune in and see everything that's going on. All of the people, yourself, your attorney, the state, myself, the coordinator, you name it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, these rights in particular, all of them, you give them up to enter a plea. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And you're willingly, voluntarily doing that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now I'm going to show you some documents. Almost all of them, with one exception, will have what I call introductory information or basic information at the top. It identifies you. It says case number CC 625173 is the state of Texas versus James Dolan Foxworth in County Court of Law number 5, Bexar County, Texas. That's the identifying information. That'll be almost on all the documents. Then the title of the particular document. In this case, it's the state's consent to video conference. I just got through telling you that you and the state have the right to have this hearing in public in the courtroom.
Yes, sir.
Because of the emergency, you both have the right to say, we waive that. In this case, Caitlin Morgan, the assistant district attorney, has signed this document. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
That's where they consent to doing the video conference. The next document is what's called a discovery law document. That will tell you, it'll have, again, the identifying information, and then it has the title of the document, Discovery Acknowledgement. There is a law that, obviously you're not going to have to pass a test on this, but there's a law called Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. The state of Texas requires that the prosecutors provide to you and your attorney all the information and evidence available that is necessary for you to enter a intelligent and informed plea or decision. You're going to see below this document that both your attorney and the state's attorney, Ms. Morgan and Mr. Hill, have both signed it saying, yes, that law has been obeyed. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
All right. The next document is this is yours coming up.
Okay.
This is where you agree to our consent to video conference. Again, the identifying information at the top. Then the title, defendant's consent to video conference. This one has your signature and your attorney's signature. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Now we're showing you another document. Again, the identifying information at the top. The title of this document is Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. Did you review this carefully with your attorney?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Well, in the fines, I say, yes,
All
sir.
right. Now, this document starts off with 3 individual sentences at the top. The first one says, I don't need the judge to read to me the official document that tells me that I'm accused of a crime. And then the second sentence says, I know and understand that I'm charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon. And the third sentence says, I hereby enter a plea of nolo contendere to the charge of unlawfully carrying a weapon. Now, the rest of this document is divided into 15 separate parts or divisions that are labeled 1 through 15. Number 1 talks about the range of punishment that is available in this particular charge. It identifies Class A with a check mark in the box next to it that says you can be fined from $0 to $4,000, and incarcerated in Bear County Jail from 0 days to 1 year in jail. Did you see and understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number two is,
Are you going to?
again,
No.
critical. It repeats what we've been talking about before. You have a right to a jury trial. You have a right to cross-examine witnesses, and you have a right to remain silent. And you freely,
¿Cómo está? Bien, bien. Oh, bien, bien.
Mr.
right to
¿Cómo le
Rivera,
puedo ayudar?
What's going on?
somebody tell Mr.
Kevin?
Rivera that he has to
I'm
move.
sorry, sir.
I'm trying to get Mr. Rivera to, there we go. I think he's quieted down. All right. Back to the document. All right. Mr.
I'm trying to get it bigger. I'm sorry. Right. The words. Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Now, have you ever had any kind of mental health issues, problems?
I mean, I have ADHD.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are you taking medication for that ADHD?
No, sir.
Are you under any kind of mental health medication at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, did you review all 15 of these different separate portions of this document?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Number 8 talks about citizenship. Where were you born?
I was born in Louisiana at
Okay.
7th Ward Hospital.
The court will note that you are a U.S. citizen. Now, have you ever been involved with a sex offender registration program?
No, sir.
All right. Number 15, I draw to your attention. You have signed this document agreeing to these, that you understand all of this. Number 15 says that you have the right to demand that I stop everything and have a risk and needs assessment for you, a study. Do you understand that you're telling me you don't want that risk and needs assessment?
No, sir.
You do not understand that?
No, yeah. Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. All right. Any
Yeah,
questions
yeah.
about this document, sir?
No, sir.
You did review it and it does have your signature.
Yes, sir.
Okie doke. I will be signing that. The document you're being shown now has the identifying information at the top. And then I make this declaration or certification. The title of this is Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. It has a bunch of little boxes stacked up vertically, and each one has something separate or different about the right of appeal. I will be checking the 5th box.
The 5th box.
It says, I certify as a judge that this is a plea bargain case and you, the defendant, have no right of appeal. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
It says
It'll have my signature. It already has your signature on there, as well as your attorney. Now, the next document has to do with the probation issues.
It's all supposed to be white clear.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that, sir.
That's all right.
Judge, do you mind me telling my client, please quit talking to your mother? You're just talking to the judge right now. Okay?
Yes, sir.
This is the same as being in the courtroom. In the courtroom, you don't have people talking to you, so be careful with that, all right?
Yeah, I apologize.
That's all right. I understand. Even Mr. Hill has to be reminded that this is a courtroom proceeding. All right. Now, this is what's called the plea agreement. I will be checking the first 2 boxes. The first one talks about that we're discussing in writing your constitutional rights, in particular the right to remain silent. Then I will have checked by the staff. The second box says defendant is a U.S. citizen. You told me under oath that you were born in Louisiana, and that's proof of your citizenship. The next section is defendant's acknowledgements. There are 5 boxes that you've checked off. Those boxes, again, in writing, talk about your constitutional rights and protections. It's very important that we're certain that you know and understand what you're doing in reference to your rights. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, now we're going to skip the next section. That's DWI, but then it comes to non-DWI allegations. You have been charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon. To that charge, sir, how do you plead?
I plead I forgot the word for it.
Nolo contendere.
Yes, sir.
It's also commonly called no contest. It's the same. Anyway, be aware that nolo contendere is sufficient for me to find you guilty. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm ordering you to appear at the courthouse on the 4th floor of the Justice Center in the offices of County Court of Law number 5 within 7 days. I need you to go in there and fill in anything that needs to be filled in, including your signature.
Yes,
Then
sir.
I want you to have your thumbprint placed on the documents that require it by law.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on your plea of no contest and the evidence, I find you guilty. You're sentenced to 51 days Bexar County Jail, $0 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrently. The weapon involved in this matter will be released to Attorney Scott Hill in lieu of court-appointed attorney fees. Is this a JSAT or not?
Yes, Your Honor, it is a JSAT. I'm sorry, I should have put intended to satisfy the judgment.
Okay, no problem. Then for the record, the court finds that you have fulfilled the sentence already and you have no further obligation to the state of Texas or this court on this particular charge. Questions, Mr. Foxworth?
No, sir.
Questions, Mr. Hill?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ailman?
No questions, Your
I'm
Honor.
sorry, Ms. Morgan.
No, you're fine.
Any questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, then this concludes this particular hearing.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
he still needs to come to the courthouse to
Yes, I
put
ordered
his
him to do
thumbprint.
that.
Your Honor.
Don't forget what I said. Within 7 days, you need to go to the courthouse and fill in anything needs to be filled in, sign what you need to, and particularly put your thumbprint on the documents, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you stay out and stay safe, you and your loved ones.
You and your loved ones too, sir. Thank you for your time and